There's a question that nags at us in the small hours. When I die, is that it? Lights out? Or does something of me carry on? And if it does, will I have a body after I die? Will it be recognisable? Now, no scientist can prove that my awareness will simply vanish at the moment of death. They can measure brain waves and chart the decline of organs, yes, but they cannot peer into consciousness itself. They cannot bottle a thought or weigh a feeling. Your inner life, your loves, your fears, your memories, is invisible to the microscope. But here's the sticking point. Consciousness implies sensation and movement. Seeing, hearing, touching, acting. If I survive death, how on earth would I do any of that without eyes, ears, a mouth, hands and feet? If there is survival, surely there must be some sort of body. Excuse me. In my view, traditional Western religions teach an old-fashioned answer. This is the literal resurrection of the biological body. At the time when the end comes, the dead will rise, they say. But how? How does a body that has decayed, perhaps for centuries, become whole again? It's a belief that many cling to, yet few even try to explain. Eastern and esoteric traditions offer a different tantalizing idea. That each of us already has a non-physical subtle body, sometimes called an astral body, one that survives death. But what exactly is that? Is it just poetic language? Perhaps it's something more. What about the beliefs of indigenous peoples? Across native North American traditions, there is a strikingly consistent belief. A spirit double leaves the body at death, travels a path, and joins ancestors in a world not unlike our own, with recognisable landscapes, communities, even hunting grounds. Australian Aboriginal spirituality speaks of the dreaming, a parallel spiritual dimension inhabited by embodied ancestors. Yes, it may sound exotic, but let's think of our own dreams. When we dream, don't we have a body? Don't we see, hear, run, speak? And doesn't it feel utterly real at the time? Perhaps the idea isn't so far-fetched. Not everything about us is physical. Even in the ordinary consciousness of daily life, it's obvious that there is more to us than flesh and bone and nerves. Thoughts aren't physical objects. Love cannot be dissected. Anger has no measurable chemical properties. Yes, brain activity correlates with mental states. But correlation isn't the same as identity. Unusual consciousness, studied by parapsychology, remains controversial. But there are decades of studies into telepathy, into remote viewing, and other anomalous experiences, suggesting consciousness may not be entirely confined to the skull. Then there are near-death experiences. Time and time again, people report leaving their physical body, observing doctors working on them, moving through darkness towards light, encountering deceased relatives who appear fully embodied. Many describe themselves as existing in a body of light. If it's just a dying brain misfiring, why are the reports so remarkably similar? Out-of-body experiences tell a similar story. People consistently describe having a form, just not in the same place as where their physical body is. Now, we could look at all the testimony of mediums, but I'm going to go on to talk about one most intriguing voice on the subject. This was the 18th century Swedish philosopher Emanuel Swedenborg. Now, he claimed that for the last 27 years of his life, he lived in two realms at once, fully awake, fully rational, yet conscious of what he called a spirit world, or non-material dimension of reality. In his books, he calls this the spiritual world, but I think that's a bit misleading because not everybody in there seems very spiritual to my mind. Nevertheless, a spirit world is what he's talking about. Not a vague haze, but an ordered realm governed not by physics, but by psychology. According to him, when we die, we awaken in this spirit world, in a spirit body, not a ghostly wisp, not a formless cloud, but a body solid and real to the one inhabiting it, yet composed of a different kind of substance than our physical biology. Now, he says that in that spirit body we see, hear, smell, think and feel, even more vividly than we do now. And in his account, the spirit body is the real person, and the physical body we have now is merely a temporary outer garment. Now, how can we make sense of these ideas? Swedenborg's position is that the afterlife is a spirit world shaped by the mind. He helps by saying it operates according to psychological laws, rather than physical rules. So our inner state will shape our environment. A kind, generous soul experiences beauty and harmony all around. A bitter, selfish one finds themselves in a scene of ugliness and discord. Sounds fanciful? Yet even on our material plane of existence, consider how time already bends to the mind. 5 minutes when you're bored can feel like much longer. An hour with someone you love can vanish in a heartbeat. That is subjective time. Swedenborg said that in the next world, time is entirely like that, dependent on mental state. And what about space and distance? Now, even in this world, we speak of feeling close to someone we love, or distant from someone we don't. In the spirit world, he said, that emotional truth becomes literal. You are near those with whom you share affinity. You are far from those you reject. In other words, what's happening in the spirit realm is that the environment around people mirrors their inner state. Even aging would work differently. In this world, the biological body withers. In the next, you will still have a human form. You will still see, hear, think and act. The difference? You would no longer be dependent on physical food, oxygen or shelter. The body would match the inner person and not decay with time. Nothing essential would be lost, only the outer shell. Of course, none of this can be proven in a laboratory, but neither can science prove that consciousness simply vanishes. In the end, the question lingers, unsettling, intriguing, impossible to dismiss. If the body is just an instrument, what if the real you has been wearing it all along? In this video, I've mentioned the old-fashioned idea of bodily resurrection, and a major difficulty with this. I have also spoken of the tantalizing concept of a subtle body, an astral body, coterminous with our physical one, and of how the beliefs of some indigenous peoples match this idea. I've pointed out how not everything about us is physical, even in ordinary consciousness, never mind in the near-death experience and the out-of-body experience. I focused on Emanuel Swedenborg's account of a spirit body, which will be our form after death, and how everything, including the body of a person in the afterlife, mirrors the spiritual character of the people. So, if you are to evolve spiritually after death, your body will grow younger, more youthful, will have more spiritual vitality. Thanks for listening to me. If you've been interested, why not give me a like and offer a comment? It encourages YouTube to show this video to a wider audience. And if you're interested in my other videos on the afterlife, you can click the playlist link right now.